In a small town somewhere between quiet streets and restless dreams there lived a woman named Claire. She was a mother of two and worked in a local library. Her life was simple, filled with morning coffee, the laughter of her kids, and the soft turning of book pages. She never imagined that one day her name would be spoken in hospitals and newsrooms across the country. She was ordinary, but her heart was extraordinary. It began on a gray winter morning when Claire was reading an article about organ donation. She stopped for a second and looked at the photo of a young man lying in a hospital bed, his face pale, but his eyes full of hope. His name was Daniel, a 30-year-old teacher waiting for a kidney transplant. His students had started a campaign to save his life. Claire did not know him. She had never met him. She simply closed the magazine and whispered to herself, "Someone will help him." She returned to her day, poured coffee, helped her kids with homework, and forgot about the story, or at least she thought she did. Days turned into weeks, and the thought kept coming back like a soft voice whispering inside her mind, "What if that someone is you, Claire? What if you could help?" One night, she could not sleep. The sound of rain against her window mixed with her thoughts. Her heart beat louder than the thunder outside. She sat up and whispered into the dark, "If I can do something for him, why should I not?" Next morning, she called the hospital number she had seen in the article. She said, "My name is Claire Thompson, and I want to know what it takes to be a kidney donor." The nurse on the line paused for a second, as if surprised. "Are you related to the patient?" Claire said, "No, I am not. I just read his story." The nurse explained the process, the tests, through tests, blood work, evaluations, endless questions. "Are you sure you want to do this? Do you understand the risks?" Every time she said yes with a quiet strength that surprised even herself. She told no one at first, not even her children. She wanted to be certain before she spoke of it. Months passed, until one sunny afternoon, she received a call. "Claire, you are a perfect match." She sat down on the edge of her bed, her eyes filled with tears. She had never felt something so heavy yet so light at once. That evening she told her kids. They were sitting around the dinner table, spaghetti steaming in front of them. She said, "There is something I want to do, something big." Her daughter asked, "Are we moving?" Claire smiled, "No, honey, I am giving someone a chance to live." Her son looked confused. "You mean money?" Claire shook her head. "I am going to donate my kidney." Silence filled the room. Then her daughter said, "Will it hurt?" Claire said, "Yes, a little. But I will be fine, and someone else will be fine." 2 weeks later, Claire met Daniel for the first time. It was in the hospital waiting room. He was thinner than in the photo, his eyes bright with disbelief. When he learned she was the donor, he whispered, Why would you do this for me?" She smiled. "Because I can, because I would hope someone would do the same for my child if they needed help." They held hands for the first time that day, strangers connected by something deeper than blood. The morning of the surgery came. The hospital smelled of antiseptic and hope. Claire looked out the window, watching the sunrise. Nurses moved quietly around her. She thought of her kids, of Daniel, of how strange and beautiful life can be before the anesthesia took her. She whispered one line to the nurse, "Tell him I will see him soon." When B-Day Daniel came to visit her town, he brought flowers and a small box. Inside was a bracelet engraved with one line, 2 lives, 1 heartbeat. They hugged like family. The news eventually learned about them. Reporters called it the kindness story of the year. But for Claire it was not about fame, it was about the quiet knowledge that she had done something that mattered deeply, something pure. Years later, when her daughter grew up, she followed her mother's example, not by donating an organ but by choosing to live selflessly. She became a nurse, helping others every single day. One act had planted a seed of compassion that grew far beyond one hospital room. Claire never asked for anything in return. She once said in a small interview, "I did not save a life, I shared mine." And that made both of us whole. Her words touched millions, reminding everyone that love is not always. Continued to live a full life. He got married, had children, and every year on the anniversary of the surgery, he sent Claire a handwritten note. He always wrote the same sentence, "You gave me time, and I will spend it well." One evening Claire sat on her porch watching the sunset, her kids grown, her heart content. She closed her eyes and thought about how one magazine, one phone call, and one yes had changed everything. She smiled softly, knowing that her story was not about loss or pain, it was about connection, about the invisible thread that ties human hearts together. The wind moved gently around her, carrying the laughter of her grandchildren and the distant sound of life going on somewhere far away. Daniel was reading a story to his class, a story about a brave woman who gave without expecting anything in return. His students listened wide-eyed as he spoke, and though he never said her name, every word he spoke was a thank you to the woman who made his life possible. Claire Thompson, an ordinary mother who became a quiet legend in a world that often forgets how powerful kindness can be. And if you ever walk through that small town past the library where she once worked, you might find a plaque near the entrance. It reads, "She believed that one good heart can change the world." And in her case it did forever.